On today's episode, we're talking jet reports. Two Guys, Coffee and Business Podcast. Hello, everyone. My name is Michael and Trevor Tolo, back with you again, and I'm here with
Tom Dorch.
the man, Tom Dorch.
That's right. So what are we drinking today, Mike?
Today we have a nice Cafe Calibre cappuccino. A little strong. It's got a little bit too much milk, but we won't fall Cafe Calibre for that one. Today we have Stephen Kellerhaus. Tell me how I'm
Just
saying
Keller Halls, so that'll work.
it. SK. What are you drinking, buddy?
I'm drinking my problems away. That's what I'm doing.
So you got a little rum chata in your coffee.
Oh, yeah. Well,
there we
Irish
go.
cream.
Tom, you drinking anything special today?
I just got the good old water today to
Nice.
keep that throat nice and ready to go.
Crystal Light packet all in it or anything?
I thought about it, but not this time.
Awesome. All right, so like I said, we have Steven in the house today, and he's starting to learn about jet reports. So he's one of our, I guess, resident experts for maybe Jet Professional, maybe not Jet Enterprise yet.
No,
More so
not
Jet
yet.
Professional.
Yeah, jet professional. But expert's a strong word, but we can go with that.
Nice. And we're going to talk about jet reports today because Tom has noticed a lot of what?
Yeah. So a big thing that I've noticed when people are trying to look to upgrade to a new ERP system is reporting. They can't seem to get enough reports, or it's just taking too much time, and they're going into Excel and trying to create their reports all on their own, and it's just costly, money-wise and time-wise.
Yeah. I bet when you have a lot of data too, like you said, it's
Right. I mean,
time-wise,
and you're copying and pasting. You have to look for the data.
prone to errors.
Exactly. Human error. You don't even know anymore.
Yeah. So, Stephen, what do you think? You think jet reports can help solve a lot of those problems, or what?
Yeah, definitely. I started with jet reports a few months back. Took one of those training courses they had, and it's considered essentially, you have your basic Excel formulas. Think of jet reports as Excel formulas on steroids. It's a very powerful and efficient tool if used properly. For reporting through like Microsoft Dynamics Nav, pulling that information,
Yeah.
and then generating a pretty quick response if, again, utilized properly. So
Nice. Now, do you have to print out a sheet or whatnot of all the different formulas, or do you kind of just base it off your Excel experience, or what?
well, with that, they actually have with the Jet Ribbon that it's an Excel add-in. And then once you input it in, it has a wizard that gives you the basic formulas and then how to create them and craft them. And then over time, you'll learn the basic syntax of those formulas, and you can just type it in just like you would like maybe an if statement in a formula. It actually, Jet Reports is really great in the sense that it allows for Excel formulas to work seamlessly, essentially, with the Jet formulas. So they can actually talk and work with each other. The one thing I will say, a key note, as my one Jet Reports trainer told me, is it won't work with macros very well. So if you have any... It can get kind of fuzzy when working with macros because Jet Reports itself, some of those formulas kind of are macros, I guess, in a sense. So if you have your own trying to clash with them when you try to run a report, you can get some problems developed.
Yeah, I mean, which makes sense because I know that Microsoft Dynamics NAV doesn't run well with Macs by itself either. There has to be a special connector for it for you to access it, work with it on a Mac or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Yeah. Anything you got to add to that, my friend?
Yeah, just so it seems like the average person who has Excel abilities and has been trying to run all their own reports in Excel can continue to use Excel and use their Excel skills, but it's a lot easier now and more user friendly. It's kind of
Definitely.
it
Correct.
seems like.
So then when you're using jet reports with Nav, Can you give us a little bit of a rundown of, let's say, how it would work? So if you're in Nav, what do? Do you click a button and Excel automatically opens up, or just the basics, real high level overview?
A really basic one is honestly you just open Excel in a Word Excel spreadsheet, and then if you already have the add-in put in Excel, you just go to the Jet ribbon. You have the home view, the insert ribbons. You go to that, and essentially from there, once that ribbon is already in there, it automatically has all that information ready to go. They also have a table builder view where you can view all the tables in Nav, so you can get a high-level view of all these tables, like the vendor table and all the fields that are associated with it, like name, address, city, all of those things. And then you can literally go to using the NL function, which is one of the key functions, and then literally say, all right, show me all rows from this table, from the vendor table, show me all names. Show all of our vendors, and then you can filter those values based on show me only vendors with a certain amount of prepayment already put in, or show me ones that just recently became a vendor. There's multiple filters that you can apply to those as well.
Capabilities are almost endless for reporting wise.
Yeah.
Right.
My question is this data, is it all real-time data?
So in that regards, there's two ways to have that real-time data. A lot of people in their Nav environments will always have constant updates to inventory management and stuff like that. So there's two ways to run these reports once you have your report built, is using the report function, which uses cached information from Jet, from Nav. Every time you open a Jet report Excel workbook, it will automatically refresh the data, essentially, unless you specify otherwise, but it will always refresh the data when you first open it up. Then every time you run report, it will use that cached information at that time you opened it up. Say, however, you were working on it for 30 minutes and a bunch of inventory came in. There's another button that says called refresh, and that will give you real-time data at that moment you run it. And then the difference is you would run the refresh when you need that real-time information at that point. It will take longer to run the report because it has to pull back new information, but running report will just use cached information. So
Really?
depends on your environment.
Now, is it hard to access these reports? Can they be accessed from anywhere? Is there a special option to go on any type of web and just access the reports? Or is there maybe a customer portal or something, or what?
Right, yeah. So depending on the licensing structure you have, there is a web portal where you're able to view those Excel worksheets. Say you don't even have Excel on your computer, or you're just using like one at a hotel or whatever,
Yeah.
and they don't have Excel. You have the Wi-Fi, you have internet. You can go onto the Jet web portal in a web browser and actually view those reports, and then actually see those results of those web reports.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
So I understand that's a pretty new feature too within the last, I want to say year, but it might be a little bit more. I'm not sure.
I wouldn't be able to give you specific dates or anything like that, but I would say it's relatively new.
Definitely. Anything you want to add to it?
So I'm kind of curious about scheduling reports. Is that another feature that's available? Or?
Right. So my first go-in with Jet Reports was actually using something called the Dynamic Batch Scheduler. Jet Reports has a great thing where they actually provide templates for certain types of reports to build, and one is their Dynamic Batch Scheduler. So say you have, for the example that I'm going to use, that I used for the company, was prepayment invoices. We want Jet Reports to automatically send emails to all of our customers who have prepayment balances with us every Friday at a certain time, and check every Friday before you run this report to see if they still have a prepayment balance with us. And to do this automatically without someone having to go into Excel, hit run, and then do this. So with the Dynamic Batch Scheduler, there is some configuration work you have to put into it. But you can have it run, send to specified people for each company, and then say it's 10 a.m., you set it to run at 10 a.m., it'll send 20, 30, 50 customers their specific invoice reports, like, all right, so here is your prepayment balance, here's the invoices or all the ones you added to that balance at this time, and it's a dynamic way of just having a complete process automated. It was something beforehand we didn't use that would take to manually input new people into the task scheduler many hours. So this has probably saved, I would at least say maybe 5 to 7 hours each week.
Yeah.
Wow.
Having to
That's a
check
lot over the course of a long run.
check nav and look at those invoices.
It almost sounds like from our last podcast, artificial intelligence.
It does.
Might be able to use a little bit of artificial intelligence in the future,
Right.
to where it just reads what customers have what, and you don't have to enter any data, and it'll send out the billing or whatever based on their open rates from the past. So it'll send it out exactly at the best time that it thinks you're most likely to get open or whatnot.
That's pretty cool.
Might be interesting in the future, yeah, definitely. All right, so if you had to pick right now, would you pick, if you're starting a small business, Power BI or Jet Reports?
Going right into this one, are we?
Right
Okay.
into it.
I will say I
Full
have.
disclosure, sorry. I'm a Power BI guy. I love Power BI. I love Jet Reports too, but for smaller businesses, I kind of think Power BI is the way to go. It's just me.
I will say a small disclaimer myself. I've done a little bit of work with Power BI, but my main focus has been Jet Reports. So I'm kind of for Jet Reports, I guess, to show my bias. The experience that I've had with Power BI, specifically with data refreshes, has been a bit of a struggle.
Yeah.
I certainly don't doubt the ability of the reporting tool.
Yeah. Data refreshes with large amounts of data though, right?
Yeah, I tried to set up a data gateway with refreshes of the reports and the data sets,
Right.
and have that an automated process, just like the automated process
Yeah.
we had set up for here. I will say, I feel like Jet Reports is more intuitive if you have that Excel background.
Yeah.
It just feels more natural. I looked at some of the
I think Jet Reports has more capabilities than Power BI. No doubt about it.
so.
Yeah.
But yeah, when it comes to actually creating reports in Power BI, I think it takes a little bit more time to try and understand the syntax, coding syntax of using it. But again, I haven't seen all the capabilities of Power BI. So, but my personal recommendation is Jet Reports, but again, I do have a bias. So,
We all do. You're the tiebreaker.
Well, yeah, so my personal experience, I would say
Depends upon your business.
it does depend upon your business. Everybody's different.
Very true.
But personally, I'm more familiar with Excel. So
Yeah,
I'm a
so
Jet
Jet
Reports kind of person myself.
Complicated young fellas.
Yeah. I was thinking about grabbing my popcorn here. I was hoping there was going to be a quick little feud.
Never. They both work wonders. It all depends on what you like and what you need it for.
Yeah. Well, Stephen, you kind of brought up another point that I wanted to ask. So you don't really need a whole lot of programming skills for Jet Reports to modify the reports yourself. Whereas with Power BI, I feel like you kind of do need a little bit more, I don't
It
know.
has its own language.
Right, it has its own language.
Yeah.
Am I correct in?
I would definitely say so. Another neat tool, thank you for bringing that up, the table builder I discussed earlier, the table viewer. You can actually pull an exact table, like say you want vendor, and it lists all the fields. You can actually almost drag and drop an entire table into a cell, and it'll auto-populate that entire the entirety of that table. However, make sure you put in filters, or else it's going to show you everything, or it might crash. But it gives you it can hold your hand if you want it to, but you also have the sense of you have free reign to do what you want. So I think it's easier to learn with as a if you have no knowledge, and then it has like a nice training program, if you will.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like they're both pretty easy to install. I mean, within
Absolutely.
a day, you get something up and running.
Right.
Yeah, not bad. Well, my friend, I have nothing more for you. I think you answered a lot of the questions that a lot of people who don't know about Jet Reports and maybe want to get into it, you know.
Yeah, I feel like I'm on my way to becoming an expert of myself now after today.
Mr. Jet Reports. Well, I'd say that about wraps it up again for this week. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, I would say so. And I want to thank Stephen for joining us today. It was a pleasure having you.
Definitely. Love to have you back if you ever get the time.
absolutely. Thanks
All
for
right.
having me.
Sounds good. All right, everybody, keep doing what you're doing. We're here for Solution Systems. I'm Michael and Trevor Tolo with,
Tom Dorch.
and
Stephen Kellerals.
nice. Have a good one, guys.